Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Warming temperatures this week. A southwesterly flow brings temperatures to more like springtime numbers. I'll show you how warm it gets today coming up.
Mystifying murders. A man charged with killing 3 family members heads to court today. What we expect to learn during the hearing. And a deadly house fire. What we've learned about an early morning fire in Raleigh that killed 1 person. A lot of new information to get to here in this noon hour. Good afternoon. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. We begin with breaking news in Johnston County. EMS crews are on the scene of a possible drowning near Howell Road in Princeton. Sky 5 got on that scene just after 10 o'clock this morning when a person was pulled from the water there. We can see investigators focused on an area of water behind this home. WRAL News is working to learn the person's name and condition, and WRAL's Brett Neese is on the way to that scene and will bring us a live report as soon as possible.
A wind shift is bringing warmer air to the region this afternoon. Our highs will reach the 60s today. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at how much above normal our temperatures will be this week.
Well, we normally are in the upper 50s this time of year, and we're above that already. 61 is the current temperature out at RDU. Already very mild outside and blue sky, too, so it's gorgeous outside. Expecting a high of 63. We might have to bump that up a couple of degrees since we're already at 61. We had a fairly warm start to the month of November. In fact, we broke a record high. We got to 80 back on the 4th. And then once we got to the 10th, we got in this pattern where it was pretty much cold, below normal temperatures for almost the entire 2-week period leading up to today. And now we're kind of switching that pattern. Above normal temperatures are in the forecast, and it's because of that wind direction that has really switched across the area to a southerly flow. So today, temperatures will be above normal. Tomorrow, we'll still have a south to southwest wind. We'll have above normal temperatures. Now, Wednesday, we do have a cold front that slips through early in the day. Briefly, our winds will switch out of the north and west, but in the afternoon, they quickly switch back to the south. So temperatures will be above normal Wednesday as well. Really, we'll have these above normal temperatures through Thursday. So the normal's 58. Today, 63, maybe a little bit higher. 70 Tuesday, 67 Wednesday, 72 Thursday. Friday is cooler, 58 for the high. That's because a cold front arrives on Thursday, and that front also brings us the chance for rain. I'll time that out with Futurecast coming up in just a little bit.
And right now in the WRAL Live Center, following some breaking news from our NBC family, Lester Holt is stepping down as anchor of nightly news after 10 years. This announcement came out just about an hour ago. He will move full-time to Dateline at the beginning of the summer, where he's been the principal anchor for almost 15 years. They have not named his successor yet, but in a note to staff, Holt said, "A smile comes to my face when I think that with nightly news and Dateline, I could have never imagined my career path would unfold in the way that it has. What an amazing ride."
Thanks, Michelle. Shocking news this noon. The man accused of stabbing and killing 3 of his family members will be in court today for the first time since his arrest. WRAL's Carly Haynes is live at the Cumberland County Courthouse. And Carly, we're just about 2 hours away from that appearance. What do we know heading into this?
Well, this will be the first time that we see the suspect in front of a judge. He's going to be right in here in this Cumberland County courthouse. We were talking to a family friend a little earlier today who said that the family members of the victims are expected to be present for this court appearance. I want to show you the man who we're going to be looking out for. This is 26-year-old Mackendy Darboose. He's accused of stabbing and killing 2 young girls and a 77-year-old woman at this home on Friday. Fayetteville police said everyone involved is family, though has not specified how exactly they're related. And someone inside the home, a witness, called 911 to report it. So we're hoping to get some more information about that as well. The police investigation lasted about 9 hours on Bell Arthur Lane on Friday. We're going to be inside the courtroom today and, of course, sharing any updates that come out of it. As you said, this is expected to get started in just about 2.5 hours. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Cumberland County.
And staying in that area, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office needs your help locating a retired Green Beret. Clint Bunnell was last seen January 27th in Fayetteville. His family says he vanished under suspicious circumstances. They're offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to his location.
A man has died after being caught in a house fire in Raleigh. Sky 5 was over the scene as crews battled that fire. It began around 4 a.m. on Shaw Drive near Western Boulevard, close to I-440. WRAL's Laura Levine was there as crews worked to put out the fire.
That tragic scene unfolded here on Shaw Drive in Raleigh, the fire taking the life of a 34-year-old man. Fire crews first got the call just before 4 a.m. and discovered an abandoned home here up in flames. Sky 5 flew up above, giving you a look at the aftermath of the flames and fire burning the home. You can see a large hole in the roof. This property is a good distance off the road in between this wooded area. As safely as they could, firefighters began searching the property, and when they arrived, they found that 34-year-old man here at the home. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died from smoke inhalation. The battalion chief tells us it was a challenge getting access to respond to the fire. They had to use a 400-foot hose to reach the home and begin putting out the flames. It took about 45 minutes for crews to get that fire under control. We spoke with neighbors who were just getting off work, working an overnight shift, when they saw this and tried to navigate getting to their home.
When we came, we were trying to get into our house, but we discovered that a lot of people are here. We were surprised, and especially this is the first time we see it like this.
And we are told the 34-year-old man was homeless. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Fire units also responded to the scene of a burning barn near Zebulon. You could see flames shooting from that building. This happened around 2 a.m. on Perry Curtis Road. Neighbors say the barn was sometimes used for car repairs. Nobody was hurt in the fire.
Now to the Trump administration's efforts to slash the federal workforce. This weekend, millions of employees received a message from Elon Musk demanding they account for their work by midnight tonight or lose their jobs. NBC's Garrett Hake explains why the ultimatum is causing confusion.
Top Trump advisor Elon Musk is facing new resistance from inside the administration today over an ultimatum to more than 2 million federal workers, delivered in an email from the Office of Personnel Management on Saturday. The email, titled "What Did You Do Last Week?" asked workers to respond by midnight tonight with 5 bullet points detailing what they accomplished. The move sparked widespread confusion, with agency heads issuing conflicting guidance to workers. Some agencies, including the FBI, State Department, and Defense Department, told employees either to delay responding or not respond at all, while others, like the Department of Health and Human Services, asked workers to respond by tonight's deadline. Compounding the chaos, Musk, posting on X, said he was acting on the president's instructions, adding, quote, "Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation," though the OPM email did not include that threat. Democrats blasting the email.
It's just another example that Trump and Musk have no idea what they're doing.
Some Republicans say they're skeptical about the directive.
I don't know how that's necessarily feasible. Obviously, a lot of federal employees are under a union contract.
At town halls across the country, growing outrage over Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency.
When are you going to wrest control as the Congress back from the executive and stop hurting your constituents?
President Trump, speaking at a conservative gathering on Saturday, defended Musk.
People said, well, what official position does he have? I said, patriot.
It comes as one of the agencies targeted by Musk's DOJ, USAID, announcing yesterday that nearly all of its employees worldwide will be placed on administrative leave. 1,600 of those workers here in the U.S. will be laid off as part of a reduction in force. Exceptions were made in part for those working on, quote, mission-critical functions. It follows another major shakeup across the government, this time at the Pentagon, with President Trump firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General C.Q. Brown, Jr., along with several top officers from the Navy and Air Force and top military lawyers.
The president deserves to pick his key national security and military advisory team.
Well, federal agencies push back against Musk's directive and federal workers question their future. President Trump mocked the controversy on Truth Social using a meme of SpongeBob SquarePants, making a list of 5 things he did last week. And the list read, cried about Trump, cried about Elon, made it into the office for once, read some emails, cried about Trump and Elon some more. Musk shared the same image Sunday on X, calling the questions to federal workers a very basic pulse check.
A bold gesture at one of the world's most famous rock climbs. A group of demonstrators unfurled an upside-down American flag on El Capitan in Yosemite National Park over the weekend. The display is considered a sign of distress or an imminent threat to the country. Protesters say this calls attention to the firing of about 1,000 National Park Service employees by the Trump administration and should spark action. Hundreds of visitors head to Yosemite this time of year to see Horsetail Fall. The glowing waterfall is created by the setting sun and usually only appears in the later part of February. And that brings us to today's WRAL live poll. We are asking, are you concerned about federal worker job cuts? You can always join in on our live polls by scanning the QR code on your screen or head to WRAL.com/yourvoice.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, some sad news out of Hollywood. Grammy Award-winning soul singer Roberta Flack has died at the age of 88. Her death followed several years of health challenges, including a diagnosis of ALS a few years ago. The condition made it impossible for Flack to sing, but she was an incredible talent. She was known for her hits Killing Me Softly with his song and The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face. Her publicist says she died surrounded by her family.
A serious crash blocked 3 lanes of traffic on I-40 westbound this morning. This was the scene from Sky 5 right around 9:45 this morning, right at Wade Avenue. Drivers had to use the right shoulder because a fire truck blocked 3 lanes. The car involved in the crash was badly damaged. Crews cleared the road in about 20 minutes, but traffic delays lingered. No word on a cause or injuries. 2 people are facing charges after a motorcycle crash on Wade Avenue in Raleigh. Troopers tried to stop 3 motorcycles on I-95 in Johnston County, which led to a chase. One of the motorcyclists stopped and surrendered. The second got away. The third sped into Raleigh and crashed into a car at Wade Avenue and Faircloth Street. Damon Smithwick suffered minor injuries and faces multiple charges, including possession of a stolen vehicle.
Next at noon, fighter jet escort. Why an American Airlines passenger jet was diverted so far off its intended course.
Also, what happened when a Vance County deputy shot and killed a man? What the sheriff's office is expected to release.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
We're hearing from the passenger on an American Airlines flight that was diverted to Rome. The flight traveling from JFK Airport to India had to turn around and land in Italy because of a bomb threat. NBC's Emily Ikeda shares video of the fighter jet escort to Rome.
Another scare in the sky after a bomb threat caused this American Airlines flight traveling from New York City to New Delhi, India, to be diverted. Video capturing Italian fighter jets escorting the plane to its new destination in Rome once the aircraft entered Italy's airspace.
Things got real when there was jets flying near the aircraft.
Wisconsin resident Yash Raj was traveling to India for a family vacation.
The aircraft was just being told there's a security situation. I got worried that something might have happened in New Delhi, like some attack or something on the airport.
American Airlines Flight 292 took off from JFK Airport Saturday evening. It was just several hours out from New Delhi when it made an abrupt U-turn over the Caspian Sea, eventually touching down in Rome Sunday. The crew reported the security issue according to the FAA, which a source familiar with the situation says was a bomb threat made through an email. The aircraft was inspected in Rome and the threat was found to be not credible. Americans saying in a statement that safety and security are our top priorities, and we apologize to our customers for the inconvenience.
The airlines do receive these threats from time to time. Typically, they really don't have any validity to them. So it's rare that it'll reach this level.
Sunday's diversion, the latest in a recent string of high-profile aviation incidents. Last month, an Army helicopter collided with an American Eagle regional jet over the Potomac River. 67 people were killed. And just a week ago, a Delta plane arriving in Toronto crash-landed and flipped upside down, leaving dozens injured. Remarkably, everyone on board survived.
That was Emily Aketa reporting. Newly released video shows a hit-and-run crash involving an Amazon delivery truck in a Maryland neighborhood. And a warning, this video could be unsettling to some viewers. The doorbell cam video shows the truck hitting a woman in the crosswalk and then pulling forward while she was trapped. The driver gets out of the van, approaches the woman, and then leaves the scene. She survived, but she has 9 broken ribs, among other injuries. The driver is being held without bond on numerous charges. Amazon has suspended the driver. Jury selection is now underway in the murder trial of Robert Crimo III. Crimo is charged in a deadly shooting at a 4th of July parade in suburban Chicago in 2022. 7 people were killed, many more were hurt. Crimo was offered a plea deal last year. He rejected it.
We have an update now on Pope Francis. The Vatican says he is in critical condition as he battles double pneumonia and the onset of kidney failure. Today is his 11th day at a hospital in Rome, the longest hospital stay of his nearly 12-year papacy. The Pope experienced a long respiratory crisis on Saturday that required supplemental oxygen. He also needed blood transfusions, but is reportedly resting comfortably. Today marks the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised Ukraine's heroism on social media. Zelensky wrote on X alongside a video showing scenes from the front line that he is proud of Ukraine. He also says he's ready to resign as leader if it meant it could bring peace to his country, suggesting he could swap it for NATO membership. A lot going on overseas and back here at home weather-wise with our change in the weather cycle.
Yeah, lots of sunshine out there. We can get the warmer temperatures. And if you've been putting off washing the car, well, today would be a good day, right, Amy?
That's right. I need to do it. I don't know if I want to wait in those lines. I guess I could do it myself. But yeah, good day to get the car washed today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Thursday, we do have a front on the way, and it brings a chance for some rain, but it's not going to be enough to kind of wash everything off of your car. So you'll need to get it washed at some point. The next rainmaker is a cold front that arrives Thursday later in the day. Scattered showers will be possible. It'll be way too warm for any snow. Temperatures will be in the 70s Thursday afternoon. And then we'll have a brief cool down Friday, but temperatures rebound back above normal by the time we get to Saturday. And it's just one day that we have a chance for rain in the next several days. It's a 50% chance for rain during the day and night on Thursday. This is likely going to arrive very late in the afternoon, and it will impact the evening commute on Thursday. So let's take a look at this hour by hour with Futurecast. We'll have a southerly flow ahead of the front. Temperatures will warm into the low 70s Thursday afternoon. It'll be a little breezy at times in advance of the front as well. By the time we get to 4 p.m., those scattered showers moving into the northwestern half of our viewing area. Here's a look at 6 p.m. So the evening commute Thursday likely have some impacts with some wet roads during the evening commute. Shouldn't be very heavy rain, light to moderate rain expected. At 11 p.m., we still have some scattered showers across our area. Cold enough in the mountains for some snow with this particular front, but just too warm here to support anything other than just plain old rain. 1 a.m., the rain starts to move out of our area and will be dry for the morning commute on Friday. This is a look at how much rain we could get, anywhere from about 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch. So it's not a ton of rain, but at least it's something. It's really our only chance in the next 7 days. It is beautiful outside right now. This is a live look at downtown Raleigh. Look how blue the sky is. It's 61 degrees right now. No wind to speak of right now, but we do have a southerly flow for the next few days, and it's that southerly wind really helping to warm temperatures in the coming days. Today, high temperatures will be in the low 60s. The normal high this time of year is in the upper 50s. So we're above that. A great day to maybe take the kids to the park, have them play outside when they get home from school. It'll be very nice outside. We'll be in the upper 50s by 5 p.m. We're back down into the upper 40s by 8 p.m. It will not be as cold tonight. A lot of people woke up to temperatures in the 20s this morning. It will not be as cold overnight tonight. Temperatures will stay above freezing across the entire viewing area tonight, down to 36 in Durham, 37 in Raleigh, 37 in Fayetteville, and 36 in Rocky Mount. So it's still jacket, maybe coat weather in the morning, but just not as cold as we've been the last several mornings. And then tomorrow afternoon, we should hit 70 degrees. We don't do that very often in the month of February, but 70 for the high tomorrow, mostly sunny, 67 on Wednesday. Wednesday, we have a weak cold front that swings through, so temperatures drop just a little bit, but still above normal. 72 Thursday. You can enjoy the first half of the day, probably even have lunch outside before the rain gets here later in the day. 58, so it is cooler Friday, but we bounce back into the mid-60s Saturday, and really overall the weekend forecast is looking pretty good at this point.
Looks very good. Amy, thank you. Well, tonight on our evening news, uncovering a hidden heart risk. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in America. Now, a non-invasive test can identify a major risk factor before you have a heart attack. Today at 4, how it works and who should ask for one.
Also, soaked with sewage, a sewer backup caused tens of thousands of dollars of damage inside this home. Tonight at 5:30, why the homeowner has to pay for repairs, even though she blames the mess on her water company. Starbucks announced plans today to lay off 1,100 corporate employees. The new chairman and CEO says those impacted will be notified by midday tomorrow. It's part of Brian Nichols' plan to streamline operations. Starbucks is also eliminating several hundred open and unfilled positions. The layoffs are among the largest cuts in the company's history. Meantime, Apple announced plans to invest $500 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. Industry experts say the move could help it avoid new tariffs on goods imported from China. Most of Apple's iPhones are made in China. The multi-billion-dollar investment includes building a server manufacturing facility in Houston, as well as expanding data center operations in 5 states. Last year, Apple delayed plans for a massive campus in RTP. No word if those talks will resume.
Captain America hangs on to the top spot at the box office despite a big drop in ticket sales. And home sales tumbled more than expected last month. Those are among today's business headlines with Maribel Aber.
Home sales fell far more than expected in January. Sales of previously owned homes were down 4.9% last month. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. Housing analysts were expecting a drop of 2.6%. The decline came as the median price of a home sold in January shot up to $396,900. That was a gain of 4.8% from a year earlier and the highest price ever for January. High prices, along with a tight supply of houses and high mortgage rates, continue to squeeze buyers out of the housing market. The years-long shortage of the weight loss drug Wegovy and diabetes treatment Ozempic is resolved. That's according to the FDA. The shortage of the drugs from the Danish pharmaceutical maker Novo Nordisk had been going on for more than 2 years. Now the FDA says the company's supply and manufacturing capacity can meet both current and projected demand in the U.S. The active ingredient in the 2 drugs had been in short supply since 2022 when demand for Wegovy and Ozempic soared. That prompted Novo Nordisk to invest heavily to expand its manufacturing. Captain America: Brave New World saw a steep drop off in its second weekend. Ticket sales for the superhero feature tumbled 68% from last weekend to 28.3 million. But even with the slide, Captain America was number 1 at the weekend box office again. Second place went to The Monkey with 14.2 million in ticket sales, and Paddington in Peru finished in 3rd place with 6.5 million. And those are your business headlines. I'm Maribel Aber at the NASDAQ market site.
A deadly shooting in Vance County involving a deputy. Coming up, the Vance County Sheriff's Office's account of what happened and what family members of the victim are saying.
And federal funding frees fallout. What is happening to those funds for USAID programs and the effect it's having on local universities like UNC Chapel Hill? And here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number 1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
In about an hour and a half, we'll be getting more details about what led to a Vance County deputy shooting and killing a man.
That man's girlfriend identified him as Johnny Mayfield. WRAL's Monica Casey is live in Vance County right now, where the sheriff's office will be speaking about what happened. Monica?
Yeah, Jeff, that press conference is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon here at the Vance County Courthouse. It's the first time we will hear from law enforcement after that deadly shooting. This is Johnny Mayfield. His girlfriend, May Bullock, tells us she is 7 months pregnant. Mayfield was driving her to the hospital when they were pulled over Saturday morning. Bullock says police ran Mayfield's license and they said he had an outstanding warrant.
He proceeded to run away from the police. The police chased him with his gun, and when he got back, he tried to mace them. And I told the police, I said, "Hey, I'm pregnant. Don't spray it and mace. I'm pregnant." And they said, "I know." My boyfriend got in the car, and he proceeded to flee
Bullock says when Mayfield fled in the car, it was the last time she saw him alive, and she was left there on the side of the road. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations is involved in this investigation. We will have that 2 p.m. press conference live over on our website. Live in Vance County, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Wendell Police Department has launched its first officer body-worn camera program. The town received a grant worth $58,000 to offset the cost of the devices. All 30 sworn officers and any future officers of the Wendell Police Department are required to turn on body-worn cameras while engaged in their patrol and response duties. Today, a woman accused of shooting and killing another woman at a Raleigh apartment complex this weekend has her first court appearance. 31-year-old Debria Moore faces charges including first-degree murder. Officers responded to Casa de Luna apartments on Bonneville Court around 3:30 Saturday morning. Police found 28-year-old Ashley Searles with a gunshot wound. She died at the hospital.
One person died in a head-on crash in Harnett County. This happened around 6:30 last night on US 421 near Sloan Road. An SUV and pickup truck collided. The person driving the pickup died. A family of 5 was in the SUV. At least one of the members of that family was airlifted to a hospital. Another deadly crash in Harnett County. A child was killed in a crash around 11 yesterday morning. This was on NC 210 South near Lillington. 4 vehicles were involved. 3 other people were rushed to the hospital. We do not know their conditions at this time.
Federal job cuts keep coming and workers are scrambling. Almost all full-time USAID employees are on administrative leave as of today. The order from the Trump administration took effect at midnight. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains this affects several North Carolina universities.
UNC is just one of the universities that could be impacted by this. We know thousands of people won't have a job to go to today. Check this out. This is USAID's website. It says all direct hire personnel will be put on administrative leave with a few exceptions. This comes after the Trump administration said it was eliminating 2,000 positions and placing most of the staff on leave. USAID funds humanitarian efforts across the globe. North Carolina organizations receive nearly $1 billion a year from USAID. That's according to U.S. spending. NC State received $2.2 million from the agency last fiscal year, while UNC received around $17.5 million. We checked in with UNC, and their spokesperson says that money goes towards several programs, including one that helps track the spread of tuberculosis. The university has confirmed 9 programs have received stop work orders as a result of this decision. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Chapel Hill.
NASA officials say they're deciding how employees should respond to the email from the Office of Personnel Management asking them to explain what they did at work last week. Many in the workforce are alarmed since Elon Musk announced that, quote, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Nikki Fox is the head of NASA's Science Mission Directorate. She told workers not to submit their response until further guidance from a supervisor. Several national security agencies, including the FBI, advised staffers not to respond immediately.
Breaking news within the last 20 minutes, Raleigh leaders announced the 3 finalists vying to become the next chief of police. Police Chief Estella Patterson's last day on the job is Saturday. The finalists include Raleigh Deputy Chief Rico Boyce, Sania Russell from the Detroit Police Department, and Joshua Wallace, Chicago Police Department Bureau of Counterterrorism. An event will be held tonight at 6 over at the Fletcher Opera Theater at the Martin Marietta Center for Performing Arts. The finalists will be interviewed by a panel consisting of community members, law enforcement representatives, and city leaders. In Durham County, the Board of Commissioners will meet tonight. One item on their agenda is to sign a celebratory resolution highlighting the freedom of Keith Siegel from Hamas detention. That starts tonight at 7. The meeting will be held in person and via Zoom.
It's a double dose of sick. Why more kids are experiencing 2 viruses at the same time and the best course of action.
Plus, a recall on supplemental shakes, the health issue with them, and where you're most likely to find them in North Carolina. News and information coming quickly. Stay up to speed by downloading the WRAL News app to get breaking news alerts. Co-infections are on the rise this winter, with some children experiencing 2 viruses at the same time. Why is that? Well, co-infections can happen with many of the viruses circulating right now, which is why testing is important. It helps with not only making a diagnosis, but also determining treatment. Although being sick with 2 viruses sounds stressful, most children can recover at home.
Pre-COVID, we weren't always necessarily testing for a whole bunch of different viruses all at one time. But now that we're able to test for multiple viruses at one time and we're doing it more often, I think we're finding out that we're seeing a lot of co-infections.
Now, if your child is having trouble breathing or getting worse over time, schedule an appointment with their doctor.
Exercise isn't just good for physical health, it can also help your brain function. A new study from Johns Hopkins University revealed working out 5 minutes a day or 35 minutes a week helped to reduce the risk of developing dementia. This also applied to the brain health of older adults who were in frail condition. Current guidelines recommend 150 minutes of weekly exercise, and this study suggests starting with much smaller activity goals could still provide significant benefits to the brain. A listeria outbreak linked to frozen supplemental shakes has killed at least 11 people now. The FDA says 4-ounce cartons of the shakes were sold under the names Cisco Imperial and Lions Ready Care. The products are often used in facilities like nursing homes. They are distributed in 21 states, including North Carolina. Listeria is the 3rd leading cause of death from foodborne illness in the U.S.
Historic hats. A new display examines the stories behind these couture crowns. The common denominator in this exhibit.
Also, secret superpower. Scientists say some birds of paradise can flash light through their feathers. The purpose behind these elaborate displays later. Some of the biggest buildings in Durham, where thousands of people go to work, haven't had county fire inspections in years. That's the focus of a WRAL investigation that airs tonight at 6. Sarah Kruger is here with us now with a look at what's ahead and what's to come with this. Sarah.
Jeff, we found all of this through a public records request, and we're talking about major companies and inspections as much as 6 years behind. We talked to a retired fire marshal about how dire that is.
Are fire inspections optional?
They are not optional.
If fire inspections are not conducted as often as they're supposed to be, what are the possible consequences?
That the workers and the employees could be in an unsafe environment, and the firemen could find themselves to be unsafe as they walk into a hazardous condition.
Now, in fire inspections, the fire marshals check for any number of things, including that exit doors open properly in an emergency, that fire extinguishers are up to date, and that sprinklers work. Now, tonight at 6, we'll tell you what companies' buildings are behind and what action is now already being taken since WRAL Investigates started asking questions. Jeff and Renee.
Sarah, thank you. Firefighters say 3 people, including a child, were killed in an early morning fire. It happened just before 4 this morning at a duplex in a town that's about 30 minutes northeast of Pittsburgh. Investigators say a man, a woman, and 3-year-old were killed in the fire. 2 firefighters were also injured while battling the fire. The cause is under investigation. Family and friends held a vigil in Oklahoma for a girl who died by suicide after being threatened by bullies. Family members say classmates bullied Jocelyn Rojo Carranza by threatening to call immigration agents on her parents. The 11-year-old died on February 8th after spending 5 days at a Dallas hospital. Her parents say the school system sent a letter the week before Jocelyn's incident explaining the protocols immigration officers must follow to access students.
A hat is not always just a hat. It can also tell the story about the person who wore it. A new exhibit recently opened at the Atlanta History Center called Hats of the King Family Women features a collection of 17 iconic crowns that were worn during poignant moments in American history, including the Civil Rights era. The director of the center explains why they're so important to our nation's history.
For generations, we see African American women adorning themselves at church with hats, but it's not even just Sunday services. It was very much a cultural tradition. So a hat became a symbol of pride and dignity and respect and really status in the community.
And the exhibit features a rotating display of hats. A new set of hats will go on display in July.
Very stylish.
Fascinating, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you might want a hat to kind of shield your face from the sun a little bit, protect the face, right? Or sunglasses even. It is so bright and sunny out there, Amy.
Yeah, definitely need the sunglasses today. Beautiful weather all across the viewing area. 4 cameras to share with you. This one in Fayetteville, the sun shining. Over at the DBAP, opening day is April 1st. That's their home opener, and they're getting the field ready. I saw the crews out there just a short time ago. Great weather to work on the field today. Beautiful blue sky here in Raleigh. Also in Chapel Hill, this view from Top of the Hill Restaurant. It's gorgeous outside, and temperatures are very comfortable. We're in the low 60s, mid to upper 50s, above normal already for this time of year. 61 in Durham, 61 in Clinton, at 62 in Goldsboro. So for the next few hours, if you want to get outside, get some steps in, temperatures will be in the low to mid 60s. 65 for the high. I decided to go ahead and bump it up since we're already at 61. 65 for the high. A lot of sunshine today. 65 in the Triangle, 64 in Roxborough, 67 in Fayetteville and Clinton. So everyone gets to enjoy the spring-like weather today with lots of sunshine. We've had some fairly warm days so far this February. On average, 60-degree days. We get about 9 to 10 of those. We've already had 8, and that does include today. And then 70-degree days. On average, we have 3. So far, we've had 4. We'll probably add to that number this week as well, with highs in the 70s perhaps as early as tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a beautiful day. Not as cold in the morning with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, and then 70 for the high temperature in the afternoon with mostly sunny skies. So a gorgeous day tomorrow. 67 for the high Wednesday. We do have a weak front that arrives Wednesday, and so temperatures drop just a little bit, but still above our normal high, which is 58. And then Thursday, we jump back into the 70s, 72 for the high. A cold front moves through Thursday as well, and that brings temperatures back to normal by Friday with a high temperature of 58. And morning lows are going to stay above freezing for the next several days. Last week, every morning was at or below freezing. Most mornings were in the 20s. It does look like the temperature trend for mornings is going up as well, with lows in the 40s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The normal low is 36. It doesn't mean that we're done with winter. Our average last spring freeze is April 1st to the 11th for the majority of the viewing area. So we still have a ways to go before we're done with the freezing temperatures. We do need some rain. It looks like we'll get some on Thursday. The southern and eastern part of our viewing area is in a drought right now, and the yellow section is abnormally dry. So we do need some rain. We have one front that arrives Thursday that has some moisture with it, and we have about a 50% chance for some scattered showers. We could use it, and it looks like we'll get it, and it'll be the second half of the day Thursday. So you'll be able to enjoy some of those nice temperatures the first half of the day. But 65 for today, tonight down to 37, and then 70 for the high Tuesday. Beautiful weather for the next several days. Wednesday, we have a weak front that arrives, so it's a little cooler, and then some scattered showers arrive late in the afternoon during the evening Thursday. It does turn cooler on Friday, and over the weekend, really looking good with temperatures fairly comfortable, especially Saturday, and it does look dry both days, Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks a lot, Amy. Earlier, we asked you, are you concerned about federal worker job cuts? We will continue as we look at these answers. See 75% to 25%, 75 saying yes, concern is there. We will continue to collect answers throughout the day, so share this with your friends. Just scan the QR code there on your screen, or you can head to WRAL.com/yourvoice.
Flashy feathers. Scientists say one species of bird can release light through their bodies. The purpose, experts say, this serves in the animal kingdom. With all that sunshine out there, we thought we'd give you some waterfront views. This is a live look at Lake Gaston. Not a cloud in the sky. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and the boats are ready to go should you want to go onto the lake.
Hey, lake's not your thing, maybe the beach, huh? We may have a couple of beach days this week when you think about those temperatures up into the 70s for a couple of days. Tomorrow being one of them. Carolina Beach, a live look. Beautiful right now this noon hour.
Here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. A Fayetteville man charged with stabbing 3 people to death will be in court this afternoon. 26-year-old Mackenzie Darbuz was arrested on Friday after a 77-year-old woman and 2 children were found dead in their home. Police say they are all related, but they have not said how. Family members are expected to be at today's court appearance.
This afternoon, the Vance County Sheriff will talk about a deadly shooting involving a deputy. A woman WRAL spoke with says her boyfriend, Johnny Mayfield, is the victim. She says the two were on the way to the hospital when he was stopped by a deputy Saturday afternoon. She tells WRAL Mayfield tried to run and was eventually shot by a deputy. He died at the hospital. The sheriff will provide an update on what happened today at 2 o'clock. WRAL will be there and carry his remarks live on WRAL.com.
Today, Apple has announced it will spend $500 billion over the next 4 years to expand its operations and facilities in the U.S., and that includes its facility in North Carolina. You may remember back in 2021, Apple announced plans to build a 1 million square foot campus for research and development in Research Triangle Park. In June, WRAL learned that plan was on hold. We're working to learn more about what today's announcement means for investment here in North Carolina.
Wisconsin police had to make an unusual rescue. A dog owner stopped by the police station desperate for help because little Murphy here got his head stuck in a jar trying to get that last milk bone down the bottom of the container. The owners tried for an hour to get the jar off the pooch's head, but the officers used some tools to be able to free him up.
I hope they gave him a milk bone or two.
The reward.
A big game for NC State's women's basketball. They broke Notre Dame's 19-game winning streak yesterday. They beat them 104-95 in double overtime at Reynolds Coliseum. Notre Dame women's basketball came into the game as the top-ranked team in the country, and NC State came in at number 13.
They were partying it up, and they should. First time since 1978. They beat a number 1 team on the home floor. Good for them. You could call this a secret superpower. Scientists say some birds of paradise actually glow under ultraviolet light. The colors are thought to be used for mating and setting territories. Researchers spotted this glow in 37 of the 49 known species, lighting up their feather, beaks, and even inside their mouths. Female birds of paradise don't perform dramatic displays like males. Experts believe the females might use the light to help them blend into background to hide from potential predators.
How cool is that? Well, our pet of the day is a handsome kitty from Safe Haven for Cats. Yellowstone is an 8-month-old brown tabby. He arrived at Safe Haven as a stray from Youngsville. And you can see profiles for Yellowstone along with the profiles of other cats and kittens that are ready for adoption at safehavenforcats.org.
USDA cuts. It's just one of many government agencies the Trump administration is taking aim at right now. Today on WRAL News at 4, we will hear from a recent NC State grad who lost her job in that process.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day. Enjoy that sunshine out there.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.